Headlines tonight.
Bride on the take, Affier's flake.
Branson told your balls are on hold.
Reggie released, nearly deceased.
Examiners quit. They know that.
Richard.
In an attempt to capitalise on the success of Channel 4's Big Brother, the Conservative Party have drawn up plans for an advertising campaign portraying Tony Blair as an all-seeing, all-taxing bigger brother.
On the line from Tory Party HQ is Reginald Miltman. So, Mr. Miltman, Tony Blair is like Big Brother, is he?
Well, he certainly is, Lolly.
In what way?
Sorry?
In what way is Tony Blair like Big Brother?
Oh, right. Well, this government has again and again proved themselves meddlesome and interfering control freaks.
But how is that like Big Brother?
Sorry?
I just don't see how Tony Blair is like Big Brother.
But the parallels are obvious, aren't they?
Has he banned pens?
What?
Has he banned pens? Come on, I'd like to know. Has Tony Blair banned pens?
Well, no.
Does he evict one member of the country every Friday?
No.
Does he have secret footage of a lesbian nun in the shower?
Well, I couldn't possibly know that one way or the other.
So in what way is Tony Blair like the TV programme Big Brother?
Well, in no way whatsoever.
Mr. Miltman, thank you.
No, I'm saying he's like Big Brother in 1984.
Big Brother wasn't even on in 1984. Mr. Miltman, come back when you've got your facts right.
14 million to 1. No, not the chances of winning the lottery, but those of getting a Virgin train to run on time. And now, what are the government doing? They're giving the National Lottery to Richard Branson.
Yes, at last it's time for the People's Lottery. After years of Camelot's evil capitalist ways, the government has finally seen sense and given the lottery to...
An evil capitalist with a beard. But Sir Richard isn't going to get his way without a bit of resistance. Camelot are mounting a legal challenge to the government in an effort to hang on to the lottery franchise. So, to put the case for both sides, please welcome David Grabber, spokesman for Camelot.
Hello.
And Lawrence Boateng, representative of Virgin.
Hi.
Mr. Grabber, why should we let Camelot carry on running the lottery?
Well, Lolly, let me put it this way. We've got the balls.
That's a bit macho.
No, we've actually got the balls. The balls with little numbers on them. I mean, without them, you can't use the machines, can you?
Mr. Boateng, can you do any better?
Oh, you bet, Richard. Under Virgin, the lottery will be cooler, younger, less corporate, more efficient, and best of all, cheaper.
Cheaper?
Yeah, tickets will cost only 50p.
Wow, 50p. That's amazing, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, that's the Virgin Apex lottery ticket, of course, which you need to book more than 2 weeks in advance.
I see. And if you buy your lottery ticket less than 2 weeks in advance, how much is that going to cost? Beg your pardon?
£99, except on peak days when it's 170.
And peak days are?
Wednesdays and Saturdays. And of course, there may be delays to the service.
Delays to the lottery?
Yes, obviously due to circumstances beyond Virgin's control. As we install our new, better machines, the lottery service may well be subject to indefinite delays or even cancelled. We apologise for this inconvenience and hope that you have a good gamble with Virgin Lotteries.
And what about people who've bought tickets for that week?
Well, they get their money back in the form of vouchers. Vouchers that can be used to purchase records, plane tickets, hot air balloons, mobile phones...
Cola bottles in the shape of Pamela Anderson.
That's the fellow, yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Boateng. Virgin, the people's multinational conglomerate.
Standards in journalism are falling, according to media commentators. Open any broadsheet newspaper these days and you'll find a catalogue of errors.
Or innovations, as it's more commonly known. Yes, the broadsheets are being done down, and one symptom of their decline is the jokey question and answer column that attempts to explain the background to a news story.
Many people find these strained attempts at populism pathetic, fatuous and pointless.
And here's ours. Audio Crib Notes.
Hello and welcome to Audio Crib Notes. This week we're looking at BSE.
You don't mean...
I'm afraid I do mean, yes, mad cow disease.
Oh, are you talking about Mrs. Thatcher?
well, no, I'm not.
Right.
I'm talking about bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
Right. Not Mrs. Thatcher, then.
No. I'm talking about fresh fears that BSE could enter the human food chain by infecting other species, such as sheep.
Oh, sheeps? You cannot bear serious.
Oh, Oh, God. Sheeps, pigs and chickens.
Oh, you mean poultry in motion?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You know, poultry in motion. You know, if a chicken had BSE, you know, it might sort of shake because of it. You know. Are you talking about Mrs. Thatcher?
Shut up. Shut up. You're ruining this.
Sorry. That's enough of that.
I thought it was great, Richard. Informative, funny. Mrs. Thatcher.
Do you eat a lot of mechanically recovered meat, Lolly?
13 million of us have bought them, another 2 million will by the end of the year, and manufacturers simply can't keep up with the demand. What are they? Micro-scooters.
They used to be the inexpensive playthings of children, didn't they, Lolly? But these days, the pavements are packed with everyone from Patsy Palmer to William Hague, riding slim, silvery skateboards with a handle. From Helsinki, where micro-scooters outnumber people by nearly 2 to 1. Here's Matt Black.
They used to be expensive playthings of children, didn't they, Lolly? But these days, the pavements are packed with everyone from Patsy Palmer to William Hague, riding slim, silvery skateboards with a handle. And here in Finland, micro-scooters outnumber people by nearly 2 to 1. This is Matt Black for The Way It Is, Helsinki.
Thanks, Matt. Day 48 of Big Brother, and disappointingly for Channel 4, the contestants are still celibate.
Celibacy is the new rock and roll, Richard.
Bad news for Patsy Kensit.
I've been celibate myself since... Well, you know,
Since you called off your wedding midway through the service after discovering that David Whelp, your handsome husband-to-be, looked and sounded exactly like me.
Yes.
I read your piece in Red magazine. No sex, please, I'm Lolly. And indeed your article in the Guardian media section, Iced Lolly. You said that being celibate made you feel stranger as a woman.
Stronger as a woman. It was a misprint.
Still, I really don't see why celibates feel this need to publicise their abstinence.
Oh, I suppose it makes us seem more attractive.
Yes, what, so you can not sleep with loads more people than otherwise? Anyway, I just don't see how you can live without sex.
Why? You do.
Yes, but not voluntarily. There's a difference. You've chosen celibacy, whereas I've had it thrust upon me. Or rather, I haven't.
Well, I've never felt better. Sex is overrated, in my opinion.
Well, perhaps you've been choosing the wrong men, Lolly. Maybe a more experienced, slightly older sexual partner might...
I really hope this isn't a come-on, Richard.
I was just thinking, you know, your fiancé, he looked a lot like me.
I really hope this isn't a come-on, Richard.
Of course it isn't. Good luck with the celibacy. I'm rooting for you. Rather, I'm not. Not content with profits of £1 million a second, BT are to increase their minimum charge to use a payphone by 100% to 20 pence. On the line now is chairman of the Payphone Users Group, or PUG, Ron Mills. Mr. Mills, is this increase going to be a serious problem for your members?
Well, Richard, our members...
Apparently it is, Ron Mills there. Forest fires continue to rage across the northwestern states of America, where our correspondent James Gravelax has been living in the town of Horselick, Montana, for the last 3 years. He joins me on the line now. James, red sky at night to no one's particular delight, I imagine.
Red is right, Richard, for the red Montana skies have made their mark on the people of Horselick, as surely as the famous red packs of cigarettes, or butts, have made their mark on the biopsy x-rays of countless of their cowboy lungs, charred to an honest crisp by the rugged, carcinogenic pleasures of a good old smoke. Lighting up is one of the few joys afforded these simple, unashamedly prejudiced people, Richard, and it is one they apply themselves to rigorously, along with staring into the distance, chewing a sort of jaundiced mulch with an almost bovine indifference which belies its bitter taste and disorientating side effects, and of course, scratching. These are mainly practiced in silence, punctuated by the sudden, almost aggressive inquiries into the marital status and political allegiances of strangers, which form almost their entire conversational canon. Indeed, only today, as I began yet another fruitless search for a nice bit of old Holborn...
Yes, James, but it is the lighting up of a different kind with which we are concerned, the lighting up of half the entire state.
Well, indeed, Richard, half the entire world sometimes seems visible from these snake-retardant platforms or porches, albeit the emptier half. Big Sky Country, they call it, and its very emptiness does indeed seem to evoke the curiously hollow music of the band of two-thirds of that same name, who contrived, as no band has before or since, to bring guitar-based power pop the beauty of the bagpipe. Even now, as dusk descends and I watch yet another long, flat sunset coming slowly closer across the horizon, its acrid smell stinging the nostrils, its accompanying mist burning the eyes to a greater degree than the ones I remember from my youth, I can't help
Yes,
but
James,
think...
that is not a sunset, but a forest fire you are watching approach. One of those which have spread across half of Montana in a conflagration unseen in living memory. It is to those fires to which I refer.
What, forest fires?
Yes.
What, actual forest fires here in Horse-Lick, Montana?
Yes.
Oh, right, well, let's see. I haven't got much time. Scenes of terrible devastation here, Richard. Confused-looking scuba divers everywhere. It's really bad.
Thank you, James.
This summer, BBC One's Crime Watch celebrated its 16th anniversary.
Always quick to spot a trend, we at The Way It Is have come up with our own version of the programme. Crime Listen.
We'll be staging audio reconstructions of unsolved crimes in the hope that you, our oral detectives, will be able to help.
We begin this week with Maureen, who witnessed a particularly disturbing incident.
It was just an ordinary sort of morning, really. I was rearranging my collection of Franklin Mint commemorative plates and chewing on some tranquilizers. I'm chairperson of our local neighbourhood listen group, so I keep my ears peeled, and all of a sudden I heard this. I looked outside to find, to my horror, that someone had urinated on my doorstep.
Terrifying stuff. Maureen is currently receiving counselling from a victim support group.
Were you in Hollydale Road, Nunhead, on the morning of July the 15th? Did you hear anything suspicious?
If you did, don't worry, that was the morning we recorded our reconstruction.
However, if you have any information that could help solve the Piss on Maureen's Step mystery, our lines are open now.
Calls cost £40 a minute, peak rate £20 a minute, draw other times. You could win a Crime Stoppers badge and then get beaten up for being coppers. Now, good night.
Richard, aren't you going to say that thing about nightmares?
What, you mean that dream where I'm being chased by Nicholas Witchell dressed as a swan?
No, you need to say, don't have nightmares, like Nick Ross.
Doesn't Nick Ross have nightmares? I don't...
Oh, forget it.
Now over to Norman Barry, our film correspondent, for a review of Guy Ritchie's Snatch.
I believe she's at number one again, isn't she?
With a disastrous fire in Moscow's Ostakina TV tower following on from the Kursk submarine tragedy, it appears to Westernise that Mother Russia is falling apart. With me in the studio is the Russian embassy attaché, Sergei Malyenko.
Good evening.
Mr. Malyenko, what about reports that Russia is in an advanced state of decline?
This is a Western misreading of the situation. Russia is in as good state as she has ever been. Ask the people, you won't hear any complaints.
Presumably because they've been sedated.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm referring to the mother of the Kursk sailor who verbally harangued Deputy President Klebenyov at a press conference and was blatantly pumped full of sedatives to shut her up, an old KGB trick.
Such a thing could never happen in modern Russia.
And yet we all saw it on camera.
That woman was given medicine by a nurse to help with the weak heart.
She was silenced because she was attacking the government.
No.
Despite President Putin... What are you doing?
What?
You just stabbed me with your umbrella.
No, I'm terribly sorry. Anyway, you were saying...
I
Richard.
was.
Yes.
What has happened?
Richard.
This is Nicholas Witchell.
Swans.
You were just saying how much you admire Comrade Putin.
Was I? Yes, great man, very...
And you think he's a tough but kind leader who's excellent at judo and does very good impersonations of Elvis.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Jingle.
Wildlife wildlife news now, and a vulture has been spotted here in the UK. Those who saw it told of the creature circling its prey and then diving in to scavenge what rich pickings it could get.
And there'll be more on Anthea Turner's wedding later in the programme.
It's an exciting day at The Way It Is, as we're joined by a new member of the presenting team.
Yes, the producers presumably never having heard that Two's Company and Three's a crowd, eh, Lolly?
Shut up, Richard. I'm very pleased to introduce our new boy, Kent Clark. Hello, Kent.
Hi, Lolly. You all right, Rich?
Richard.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Well, Kent, it's great to have you here. This is very exciting.
I just wish I got that reaction everywhere I went.
I bet you do, Kent.
Well, yeah, I do.
Good God, she's celibate, you know.
Shush, Richard. So, Kent, you haven't always been involved in radio journalism, have you?
No, I just can't seem to stick at anything, lol. You know, though I'm not saying I haven't got stamina, you know what I mean?
It's a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none.
You're a funny guy. Could have done with your sort of joker at the Iranian embassy.
You were at the Iranian embassy?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it, though.
Yes, well, I do. They took the snooker off of that bloody siege.
Yeah, well, I suppose, you know, if you haven't been in that sort of situation, things like snooker can still seem important. But, come on. It was a job. It needed doing.
And what was that job? Some sort of cleaner, perhaps?
Shh, Richard. Kent was obviously in the SAS.
Yeah, well, I can't say any more on that. But, you know, once you've been a firefighter on the oil rigs, a yachtsman, and you've flown a shot-up twin prop into downtown Beirut, you know, got to go somewhere to get your kicks.
And now you're on the radio with me, yes.
Yeah, well, it's always been an ambition, and who dares wins.
Yes, if I could interrupt, Kent, could you give your report?
Yeah, sure thing, Rich. Hold on to your hat, lol. This could be a bumpy ride. Tomorrow's forecast is mostly cloudy with occasional showers in the east and the north. That's all from me, Kent Clark.
A multi-million-pound campaign designed to attract 9,000 new police officers has been launched by the Home Secretary.
Here's a clip from the new TV recruitment ad.
There's a cat up a tree. A distressed old lady looks on, helpless.
Oh, dear!
What do? If you're thinking shin up the tree and rescue the cat, then we don't want to hear from you. If you're thinking arrest the black bloke next door, give us a call. Police, be the best. Beat up the rest.
The tabloids are full of the release of a brooding psychopath who some thought should never have been freed. No, not Thomas from Big Brother, but Reggie Cray.
The 67-year-old gangster has finally been released by Jack Straw after 32 years in prison surrounded by criminals so that he can spend his last days with his family.
Surrounded by criminals.
So, what must life be like for someone who last saw freedom when Peter Sarstedt topped the charts with Where Do You Go to My Lovely?
With me now is Roger Highfield, self-styled expert on the 60s. Roger, life must have been very different back then.
Certainly was, Richard. Halcyon days. For a start, beer was just 10 pence a pint.
And what would 10 pence equate to in today's money?
Oh, about £2, I suppose.
Wow!
Yeah. And back then, of course, the nation's favourite TV show was Coronation Street.
Crazy days.
And Barbara Windsor was all over the paper saying what good blokes the Crays were.
Yes. Did you actually meet the Crays?
Oh, yes, terrible people, murderers.
Sorry, shouldn't you be banging on about how nice they were to their old mum?
Oh, no, they hated her.
But at least you could leave your front door open, right?
Oh, God, no, not like the Crays would be round and nick everything. Criminals, I tell you. Just say, criminals.
Oh, Mr. Highfield, thank you.
On Tuesday, Welsh lunatics drove a paediatrician from her home and daubed graffiti on her front door after they confused her job title with the word paedophile.
An easy mistake to make if you're very, very stupid.
Police have now issued a warning to the following people to be on their guard against similar attacks.
Paediatric nurses.
Pedicurists.
P.D. James.
Paedopurvis.
Anglophiles, Francophiles, Bibliophiles.
James Garner from the Rockford Files.
And, of course, child molesters. The words Britney Spears and agony have always been synonymous, but never so much as now, because the BBC have just employed the dream pop star to be a new internet agony aunt.
So, what sort of problems is Brittany qualified to help us all with? To find out, we're joined by the BBC's online editor, Gary Schaller.
Indeed. So, Mr. Schaller, should we all be writing letters to Brittany?
Well, of course. I mean, who better to dispense worldly advice to those with problems?
Oh, I don't know. Anyone? Still, am I right in thinking there have been some complaints? For instance, 2 weeks ago, Brittany answered this cry for help.
Dear Brittany, I'm a young mum at the end of my tether. My 3-month-old child won't stop crying, and if it carries on, I'm afraid I'm going to do something I'll regret. If you were me, what would you do?
And Brittany's advice?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Hardly the best point, but was it?
Yeah, well, no, I do admit there have been one or two teething problems.
Yes, what about this one?
Dear Brittany, last week you advised me to hit my baby one more time. I am now in police custody with my child being taken care of by social services.
And Brittany's response?
I did it again.
Oops, indeed.
Come on, Mr. Schaller, are you seriously telling us that Britney Spears answers all these letters personally?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean, Lolly. Of course she does.
She doesn't, does she?
No, she doesn't.
What do Ken Dodd, Imran Khan and Jeremy Thorpe have in common? Well, they were all successfully defended by the celebrated lawyer George Carman, who announced his retirement this week. Friends and colleagues said it was the end of an era. Aww.
Yes, a marvellous man, Lolly, and to mark this auspicious occasion, I have penned a haiku for him, which I think aptly sums up the great man's career.
Oh dear.
Scales of justice weigh heavy. Gavel now silent. Briefs removed. Case dis.
Case dis what?
The rest is missed, Lolly. Don't you see?
No. Actress Britt Eklund, 57, broke an ankle and a wrist this week when she tripped on a piece of watermelon. Richard?
I'm sorry, that's my mobile. Hello? Are you? Good. Well, I'll be down to see you as soon as I've got time, yes. Yes, you too, yes. Goodbye. Sorry, that was Mother. She's just ringing to say she's arrived at the convalescence home safely.
Oh, how did her hip operation go?
Very well, actually. She'll be out of action for a couple of months, so recuperating at Greenacres in the Garden of England. Kent.
Did I mention I had a letter from David this morning?
Ah, the broken-hearted ex-fiancé. What exactly did Mr. Whelp have to say for himself this time?
Only that he'll never get over me, and if there's anything he can ever do for me, and on about how much he loves me. And also that he's completed the sale of the house and he wants me out by the end of the week.
I see.
So, actually, I was wondering...
If you can come and stay in the Granics. It's £200 a week. You can use the walk-in bath, but don't touch the stair lift.
Right.
I have just one house rule. You must never enter the potting shed, on no account, ever.
Really? What are you growing in there?
Fruit of the mind, Lolly, fruit of the mind. And some cannabis. Joke, I was joking.
And now, a very special Reflections with the Very Reverend Jez Wright.
Hi. My wife's jugs are enormous. I'm talking, of course, about her breasts. They really are massive. And they were two of the reasons why I married her, along with her sparkling personality and because she was on special offer in my Vietnamese Brides by Post catalogue. But I think it's mainly the thought of her jugs which has made me decide to follow my homesick bride back to Vietnam. Now, I could go on about how Vietnam is very like the Anglican Church. It was born out of conflict, triumphed against adversity, and is now governed by hardline communist atheists. But do you know, I can't be bothered. You know, you've never listened to a word I've said. Okay? I mean, in fact, since I started appearing on Reflections, my congregation has, if anything, dwindled in size. So sod it. This time next week, when I'm enjoying a late supper in a Hanoi restaurant, I won't be wearing a dog collar. Although my main course probably will be. So there it is. I've said it. Keep coming to church, you know, if you want to. I personally couldn't give a flying
because I'm off to Vietnam with my huge-breasted wife. Goodbye.
Ann Summers, the sex aids and lingerie chain store, are to open a branch in Mecca, the holy city of Islam.
To find out more, we sent our new Middle East correspondent Caroline from Big... Is this the Caroline from Big Brother? This your doing, Lolly?
Well, she's a very in-demand celebrity now, Richard. The whole world's gone Big Brother crazy.
By the whole world, I presume you mean the committed onanists who have nothing better to do.
Oh, come on, Richard. Everyone has an opinion on Flirty Mel, Dippy Darren and Nasty Nick, the big cheat.
He wasn't cheating. He was simply playing a Machiavellian game which backfired.
Aha, so you do watch it.
Sometimes. Only out of academic interest.
And to see the lesbian nun in the shower.
All right. I accept that some of the contestants are of minor interest, but Caroline...
Richard, she had to put up with Nasty Nick for a month. I think she's perfectly qualified to deal with hostile situations. And she used to sell sex aids. Hello, Caggie, are you there? Caggie, can you tell us if there's a big buzz in Mecca at the moment? What sort of items are they stocking, Caggie?
Give me strength. Caroline, what can you tell us about the Saudi Arabian reaction to Ann Summers? Caroline.
Oh, I nominate Darren.
Yes, but what about this landmark breakthrough in Saudi Arabian attitudes to sex and religion? Right, that's enough. If there's any justice, someone will put a fatwa on her. The stock exchange's plan to merge with Germany's Deutsche Börse was threatened this week after a rival bid by Sweden's OM Group. Lloyd Fisher is at the stock exchange. Lloyd, what are they talking about?
Stocks and shares.
The Swedish bid?
No one cares.
So who is upset?
German hares.
Brokers working?
Peddling wares.
Where are you now?
On the stairs.
Rhyming slang?
Apples and pears.
Some French cakes?
Chocolate eclairs.
An annoying smile?
Tony Blair's.
Conductors call?
Any more fares?
People relaxing?
Big comfy chairs.
Who shits in the woods?
I don't know, tramps.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Right-o.
I'm Richard.
And I'm Lolly Swain.
And that was The Way It Is.